The one-handed axe in Salt and Sanctuary is incredibly boring. On face value, it doesn't offer anything unique and doesn't seem like there's much use to using it. That, however, is extremely far from the truth. Turns out, one specific axe has a hidden feature that makes it one of the best weapons in the game. Don't believe me? Well, I guess I'll have to prove it to you. This is how I beat Salt and Sanctuary using only a one-handed axe. We begin with Popper, as this class starts with your basic one-handed axe. Amber Idol for transmuting is a good idea. Then, even though it took 8 entire minutes of dodging and weaving, the Deep gets axed. Iron ones for our creed seems reasonable. Strength and class 3 axes are the way to go for upgrades, as we two-hand the weapon for a decent boost in damage. Bandaged ring is going to lead us up towards Sodden Knight. My problem with this weapon type is they really don't seem that different from one-handed hammers. Similar moveset, and you two-hand both to appease your inner strength user. Well, as it turns out, axes might actually be the best one-handed option. Once boss weakness comes into play towards the mid-game, we can really pick up speed. On the way towards Castle of Storms, we pick up Raider Armor, Class 1 heavy armor that offers a lumberjack-esque appearance. Or as I refer to it, I became a Russian. But then again, I don't know much about Russia, so that could be slightly inaccurate. Fused metal ring helps with our weight, blacksmith gloves increase strength, and you guessed it, we pick up the wrapped link for faster rolls. So the reason you should take special interest in this run is because axes have completely split damage. Any amount of slash damage they deal the same amount in strike, meaning no enemy, or more importantly, no boss, is very resistant to our swings. We are always hitting at least some with their weakness. To be fair, they don't instantly win fights due to the lower numbers at the moment. Regardless, I'm already starting to come around about them. Pale Charm for increased attack reach always feels great on smaller weapons. One battle axe can be looted behind a slime for a class 1 option. Bright Coral Ring gets us that nice stamina we all so very much love. War Horns are fantastic for near unlimited stamina when you want to button mash for the win. Picking up fire or electric damage from our Creed's Merchant would be a great idea, no doubt about it. But I've got a different plan in mind. Not to mention it doesn't much look like we needed it for the old alchemist buddy here. Now, I'm no expert, but this performance is looking more than solid. Everything we've fought so far has gone down without too much hassle. Not to mention, I refuse to upgrade my weapon until we get just a tad further. If that even would matter, considering your battle axe has super low scaling. Gotta say, the armor is very fitting. Never thought I'd use this set before, but man does it work for the tough wood chopper we're trying to create. With our battle axe at +3, we're stuck with a simple yet effective upgrade path. Pump strength up for damage, increase willpower so spamming attacks is easy enough, and get just the right amount of endurance to light roll. Thankfully, the lower tiers of heavy armor don't require high investment for that. And it seems you still get nice defenses as well. Heavy attacks work their magic, when you can hold them down long enough. I always love seeing bigger number take out more HP. I mean, that's half the fun of playing Sanctuary for most people, I think. Gravity Swapper brand lets us give a worm the old college try. Not exactly all that impressive without lightning pulling most of our weight. Just enough to make it work though, I think. Air combos are always a great idea for one-handed weapons, as they can often dodge attacks you didn't see coming and keep you being aggressive. You're also somewhat forced to use them on a dragon who's gonna fly. In theory, this is the last boss we need to fight before our build fully comes together, because with the official early game at an end, it's time to start dishing out some real damage. Wall jumping brand allows us into the red halls where a glorious thing would soon happen. I was dropped a red guillotine from the masked swordsman wielding them. A sword that is very clearly a sword, but for some reason is classified as an axe in game. It's class 3 and already better, so whatever man, I'm gonna take it. Of course, we drop into the Golden Wine Club and join their creed. Now, this item actually takes a much more rarer upgrade path. Hateful Jawbones, in fact, which I was not expecting. Drowned soldiers and Ember Skulls hunted grants 2 full bottles of golden wine. The large club-swinging monster outside Stoneroot's Creed can drop these bones. It took about 20-some kills to get, but that does mean we're up to a +3. So this specific weapon is the best one-handed axe in the game, at least in my opinion. While it might not look like much, you gain huge reach on your attacks, excellent split damage for exploiting boss weakness, and Golden Wine boosts it greatly. However, that is nothing compared to its secret ability, which is the fact that this item has innate health leech. Yes, you gain HP back just by attacking, usually reserved for if you have the HP leech charm. But no, we get it regardless. I somehow did not notice this until very far into the run, but just check my HP every now and again because that, plus our insane defenses, made me unstoppable from now on. In the blue cave, we find a golden stone charm, the option I wanted to use for this run as I had not tried it out before, so now we've got lightning damage on top of everything else. When I tell you bosses started to fall like rain, they really started to fall, and we basically speed ran the rest of the game unintentionally. Ideally, I would have loved to add the HP leech charm for even more of the stuff, but like I said, this was not that obvious to me. The weapon never says anywhere that it has this effect, you only notice it by watching your health as you attack. And it doesn't heal your full health on every hit, no. Doesn't even matter though, as it's more than enough to make a difference. With the weapon at +4, we now require Enduring Skulls. Where in the heck do I get 3 of those? The large crab-legged sword monsters under Disemboweled Husk have a low chance to drop one. Took about 20 minutes to get all 3, which is kind of a lot considering there's an easy checkpoint directly next to them. No matter, we now have a +6 axe. To get the last upgrade, we first have to collect another few brands, and I'm afraid to say for the Husk's sake that he's in my way. Sorry buddy, but you're preventing me from upgrading and I just need you to go. No hard feelings. Though after a beatdown such as this, I can guarantee you there would be some hard feelings. More stamina regen, if you don't mind, and the Redshift brand. We luckily took the best route for this build. I'd love to say that was on purpose, but this is me we're talking about, so it's not likely. For something I really could not have cared about at all before, the one-handed axe is instantly transforming into my favorite weapon. The damage we're getting is simply absurd, and it's not like we're taking major risks to get this powerful. Just a little good pathing and pushing through all early game bosses. At this point, I had collected all but one of my Creed's upgrades, granting 4 golden wine and a single cloth to cure its negative effects. Okay, but seriously, this is just getting ridiculous at this point. Third Lamb went down without a fight. Supercharged heavy slams left him whimpering before me. One of the more significant obstacles from most playthroughs, he just could not hack it. Maybe I should have given axes a chance before now and not left them alone because they seemed boring. Yeah, no, they're very far from boring, that's for sure. Hardlight brand means we finally have the tools necessary to take on Ronin Cran. As some of you may know, this optional boss hides a single twisted heart behind his arena. That is our weapon's final upgrade material. With the big guy buffed up, I myself buffed up, and both of us wielding axes of a sort, this battle was legendary. Not quite the original line Tai Lung uses in the movie, but Cran didn't really last long enough for me to fully say it. Poor dude tried for once too, at least some of the time, but no, he didn't last longer than 20-ish seconds. Our weapon is now at max, so there's literally nothing we need to do except take down bosses, though that's not entirely true. There's one other axe option I want to try out, the one I was originally gunning for until this beautiful piece of fine steel introduced itself. No, the one I originally wanted to use was Ronin Cran's own axe. It too isn't fully an axe, but the bottom half of a broken sword. Yeah, I guess technically most weapons in Sanctuary aren't 100% what they seem on the surface. That's part of the fun, kind of. A sword, that's a gun. A whip, that's a sword, and axes that also appear to be swords. Maybe the devs really like swords, I don't really know what to make of that. Dark Brand leads us down to Bloodless Prince, who was nothing special. Our damage is fantastic, don't get me wrong. He just doesn't offer a unique experience for us or anything. Honestly, unless you fight this brute with magic, the encounter is pretty standard. You dodge roll under him as he's about to attack, swing a couple of times, and then repeat. It has been a lot of fun to finally learn when his AoE timings land. Those really beat you up as a new player and for some time after as well. Just a slight delay and then roll straight into the AoE. Works every time. Or really every other time, since I still mess it up constantly. An extra 10% damage ring seems right up my alley. Then I decided to transmute the battle axe into Ronin Cran's weapon. Requires a diamond cluster, which was in this area, I believe. And we'll need a couple more upgrades before it's ready to see combat. Coveted is the boss where 90% of my builds go to die. You beat on this heavily resistant axe for what feels like hours. Really, it's minutes, but assault fight taking minutes is a sign of bad damage. That's again where the split comes in. We have the slash, yes, but right now we also also have the strike to obliterate this duo. That is the beauty of the axe. Great axes do this as well, but are much slower to swing. If you're looking for a reliable option on lighter builds, they seem to be the best pick. In fact, this is making me like swords a whole lot less than I did. And what good is a club when I can pull out one of these at any point? The axe is king. There you go, I said it. Let's put the old smackdown on Karshjaw. So the last Salt video I made was about the crossbow randomizer. To be fair, it was a little harder since bosses were all different than what they would be normally. But anyway, I got used to seeing such low damage slowly tick down bosses. This is the exact opposite of that run. Bosses can barely whittle me down as I chunk out large swaths of HP time and time again. Dark gods and otherworldly beings don't stand a chance against this persistent Russian. Or tree-cutting lumberjack, whichever role floats your boat, I guess. Cran's weapon being finally upgraded, we can see if it's better or not. On paper, this one deals slightly more base damage with slightly less scaling. Ultimately, I chalked it up to both axes feel about the exact same. Cran's sword hilt of an axe is a tad slower to swing and feels like it has less reach, while the red guillotine does both of those things better and comes with health leech. I don't know, this one's up to you, but my gut is telling me to stick with the first option we picked up. I'll give Cran's weapon another shot just in case, though I don't see anything changing my mind. That second shot gets put on hold as the Witch of the Lake is fast and furious. We need our best foot forward to avoid getting clobbered by magic. As for the lightning charm, I'm not sure what to think about it. Fire probably fills a similar role while dealing slightly more damage. You can also get the fire charm before this one, hence why that's usually the option I stick with. Either one fills the same role, so maybe we don't pick sides and just go with what works. Lightning looks more cooler, making it slightly better. There you go, folks. Problem solved. Ronan Cran's axe is probably the best axe in this game. I think the physical damage might be too high for other options to beat straight up. Kinda nice to see a main boss weapon get some immense power, and it makes sense to use it with Golden Wine as that's exactly what Cran would want you to do. I'm sticking with the guillotine though. Some players may have trouble getting it to drop, but then again I got this thing with no farming whatsoever while just walking through a dungeon. Unskinned went down quickly. The brute was more of a pain than usual as his head rush kept getting me. Odd, since it is the easiest one to dodge. But with that, we've officially come to the final 3 bosses of the game. Since by this point in the run I had finally noticed the HP leech, there's a lot more useful about it than you might think. First off, not needing to stop attacking to heal is always beneficial. You usually do have enough time to back away in this game because it's very well designed, though I still consider it a major advantage. You also can somewhat make up for Golden Wine's nasty side effect if the completely legal consumption of lily red liquid goes too far. A single cloth to cure a deadly poison isn't much. Should it come down to your health slowly draining, this could stop that from ending you. Another reason to use it would be that heavy armor exists. I have never seen a game lean so much into the, well, now you're gonna be slow, but slow moving and nearly immune to death is better than the alternative, which is a fancy way of saying you have super strong defenses. Don the full tank mentality. Absorb your enemy's life force into your own and prove you are the victor. At level 75, we have 34 strength, 17 endurance, and 40 willpower. Yes, I have an obsession with stamina. I fully accept that and will do my best to work on it. Probably not in reality, because the stuff is super useful, but it's the thought that counts. Unfortunately for Scarge, this battle was won the second I entered his arena. His magic may be strong stuff, but I don't really care. With an axe, you can completely annihilate every boss in your path. Why would a large dragon with tentacles be any different? Next opponent, please. I'm only getting warmed up. Only one Dark Lord left to slay. In the past, I've hated on axes. They looked boring, not all that unique with low options, and just worse than other items. That was a huge mistake. One-handed axes might be the most consistent and reliable weapon type outside of greatswords. Where most builds struggle, you excel. Where most damage types fail to do anything at all, the axe prevails. It's super cool to see them be this useful contrary to what I expected. And I can think of no way to finish this off better than with 2 massive heavy strikes cutting down the nameless god for good. Can you beat Sultan Sanctuary using only an axe? Yes, it's actually easier to do than it is with most other options. I was completely blown away by how useful these items can be, and if you ever find yourself getting a random red guillotine drop while down in the red halls, stop what you're doing and completely switch builds. I guarantee you that thing is absolutely worth it. If you did enjoy the video, like, comment, subscribe, whatever else I'm supposed to beg from you nowadays. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.